Okay, so it's 6:30 p.m. in the morning. I kind of got a bit of the jet lag from, Canadian time is in Vancouver particularly. It's 9 hour. It's actually kind of no, in a way it's more back, like nine hour backward, but it's 9 hour forward, because they got such a quite a big gap in time. So I would call it 9 hour forward. Like, it's like, New Zealand, it's around 5 hours, oh, not 5 hours, sorry. It's like, yeah, 6 hours, 6 to 5 hour, depending on the what do they call it, the daylight saving or that kind of thing. And Canada also, it's sort of like 3 hour ahead of New Zealand time again, so that would be 9 hour in total. And well, but that's just not a thing that I wanting to talk about this video. Basically, like I mentioned just now about the time in New Zealand and time in Canada, so I would like to compare between what is like to be in Auckland as to in maybe to compare, yeah, with Vancouver in British Columbia. I would split it, like, just to make it this video not drag it too long, just four part. uh First is just the city in general, the development. Well, like, I'm just have to rush a little bit on myself. So the Vancouver is much more developed. I can see, like, based on the central city. And also there's more kind of, you can see it's more developed, like, by clear picture. And I feel there's more Asian in Auckland Central. It's more concentrated than in Vancouver Central though. But like, however, like, Vancouver probably got more Asian than Auckland does. But it's just that because they're, I guess, more urban, and it's kind of, so Asian are sort of like spread out. Auckland does also spread out too, but for some reason I do feel that Auckland got more Asian concentrate in the city, in the central city. And I feel the city center is more compact than Vancouver's kind of central as well. And there's not much Indian in Vancouver. That's how I feel as compared to Auckland. There is, but not as much as in Auckland. And for the second would be the attraction, or, well, like I'm saying, like, no, from the bottom of my heart, like, when I went to Auckland for the first time, yeah, I feel surprising. It's quite a very nice city. It's got, like, the Rangitoto mountain, and it's pretty lovely at the start. And then I think I kind of get used to it along the way, that because I has been living there since high school, so it doesn't surprise me anymore. But Vancouver is really, it's my second time. In sort of the first time, I actually crossed the border already into the airport, but I only spent the amount of time just only in Vancouver airport though. But I'm officially crossing the immigration, so I could go outside the city if I want to, but I choose not to because I need to get a connection flight to London, and it's not enough time. So I mean, in that case, I feel like Vancouver is so much more, like, better scenery. Like, oh my god, it's much worth it to experience it yourself. I could not explain, like, how it feels, that, like, being there. And it's got everything. It's like, oh, it's beautiful city. it, like, snow-capped mountain you can find in Switzerland, in New Zealand, in Canada, or in other part of, saying, like, in Japan or China, for example. It's the same snow-capped mountain, but it do feel a little bit different. Like, I guess it's Canadian, like, Rocky Mountain. It kind of remind me a little bit of the Switzerland, that kind of way. But Queenstown, it's nice, in Queenstown, like, down in the South Island. If the person that watching my video And do you know where Queenstown is? Yeah, it's in the South Island of New Zealand. Um, and yes, and also I think the okay, I will go for the third part because it's the third part would be I would just the overall quality of life. I think Vancouver is much better. The transport is much better. It's more reliable. There's kind of like not just a little bit small thing. There's like the train that connected to the airport already, and the city it feels more. It's kind. I feel like even though they like when you go purchasing the stuff, there's kind of like you have to pay tax on top of the tax price. But whereas in New Zealand you don't have to. It's kind of like you just pay what the tax price say. But again though, I would always prefer what New Zealand way of purchasing a thing better. But I do feel that in Canada, particularly in Vancouver, they it's I feel they more kind of honest and then to the customer in terms of like they I don't know, I just feel it. Yeah. It's something that I can sense. It's they kind of a bit more. But people though, like in general, no, it's people I guess New Zealand are more relaxed, and Canadian they looks like they are more polite, but in a way that they're trying to behave themselves though. Like they probably like I mean, like when they with close friend or like when they with their like someone they know quite well, they probably just like relax as the way New Zealand does too. I think I'm not quite sure if I'm right, and I mean, but like for me, New Zealander they seem to be very close to you. Like it's kind of, I feel more welcome when I was in New Zealand. I don't know, just what I felt like. I feel it's more relaxed culture. It's probably because of the Maori as well. It's kind of that kind of influence onto the New Zealand culture, and I would not say like people are not nice like in or are nice in either country. It's all depend on people, I would say, and also other thing is that yeah, the weather. Okay, so in New Zealand, it's more kind of like the subtropical climate. So, um, in winter during the daytime, it's very hard to see the temperature that could be below 10 degrees Celsius in the daytime, though. Vancouver, in another hand, it lays windy. I would say there's not much wind, but I mean, I only just been there, just only. I have wrote it that Vancouver is not as windy as another Canadian city. However, though, I just been there just only not even a week yet, so I want kind of like 100% belief on it. You have to experience it yourself, and I guess like it's like it's quite it's kind of quite cold as the same level as London, as possibly like in Shanghai in China, and maybe it's around the same level of cold as Queenstown in New Zealand as well. And yes, that's something that I would trying to compare and to summarize. If I were